Welcome, everybody. Hey, we're on for another session for our marketing and lead generation workshop series. Today, we're going to be talking about developing strategic referral partnerships. Easy for me to say. And I'm joined alongside my cohort, my brother Jeff. For those of you that don't know, Jeff and I, we have founded growmyprofit.com, and we're all about helping business owners to scale their businesses 2 to 10x in 3 to 5 years or less. And so we have grown up as entrepreneurs. If you don't know our story, we grew up with an entrepreneurial father and mother and just never looked back. We've always been building businesses, and recently we formed a partnership to help other entrepreneurs to take some of the success secrets that we've learned from others and that we've actually developed ourselves, and to transfer those on to the next generation of success seekers and business owners. So Jeff, welcome to the presentation.
Thanks, Dave. Good to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to get a chance to talk about this. We come from different backgrounds when it comes down to business styles or business structures. And so we're going to get a chance to kind of create a little bit of a mastermind around this particular topic. And would love for those of you that are joining in live to post your questions in the chat section and let us know that you're here. We want to make this to be as interactive as possible. So please put questions, feedback, any ideas that you've had, and then we'll call on people if they're open to speaking and sharing a little bit more of their experience with developing referral partnerships. So our 6 steps to success inside of our Grow My Profit model is based upon what you see here on the screen. We're helping individuals to assess and evaluate where they are in their business and where they want to go and what they feel is missing to close the gap between where they are to where they want to grow to. And we help them to develop a business plan, a financial scorecard to really understand what are the milestones, what are the short-term and the long-term goals to create the outcome that they desire. And then we fill it in with marketing, sales, referrals, developing referral partners like we're going to talk about today. And then we finish that journey with leadership and operational strategies and tactics. And so if you want to learn more about the 6 steps, you can go to growmyprofit.com and learn all about that particular model. And we also have a free course that kind of walks you through those 6 steps if you're interested. But when it comes down to helping our individual clients, we have lots of different ways that we help them. One of the ways that we do it is through our virtual e-learning platform, which is what we call Scale University. And you can find more details about Scale University at growmyprofit.com/virtual. All of our marketing workshops are stored in there. We also have our Extraordinary Entrepreneur series where we interview individuals that have had 8- and 9-figure exits and talk a little bit more about how they took the 6 steps. We also have our full course in there, as well as a marketing challenge and a course on developing or designing an extraordinary life plan and living your life in an extraordinary way. And so all of these resources have videos, they've got downloads and all kinds of valuable details that I'm not going to go through today. I just wanted to give you a quick preview of that. And over the last 4 sessions in our marketing workshop that we've been talking through is we've gone through really defining your target audience, developing an irresistible offer. We talked about the different marketing phases, lead generation, client retention, referral generation, and then we talked about strategies of how you could go out there and really engage your target audience to get the highest return on investment. But this particular topic that we talk about today, developing strategic referral partnerships, we felt like that it needed its own session. Even though we talked about it briefly in the last session, we thought it'd be beneficial to really kind of drill down on some of the strategies and tactics that have been proven to be successful for others. And some of the common questions that we hear from business owners is, how do you identify prospective partners? Like, how do you even just get started? Some people are just at the very beginning stages. And then some of the individuals that we've worked with are looking for ways to get better engagement because they know who their prospective partners are, but they're not getting an engagement from them when they approach them about having a conversation or doing business together or creating a partnership. And then we're going to talk about how you can create a win-win-win scenario so that everybody wins, the referral partners win, the client wins, and you win as a referral partner. And then also the next one is how to grow profits and additional streams of revenue using strategic referral partners. And we're going to answer some of those questions today in kind of a step-by-step format. Jeff, in your businesses, you've developed four different businesses and different models, consumer or direct to consumer, business to business. Um, any specific things that you would recommend people consider before moving into a referral partnership? Because there's some benefits and disadvantages. There's some cost and relationship stuff that has to go into it, and that may or may not be the best fit for them.
Yeah, I think that they're sometimes difficult to set up. They take some work and some time and some contracts to type. So you want to make sure you're going to get something out of it, and it's got to be a win-win. If it's win for you and partner loses, they're probably going to fade out. I set up a lot of partnerships that just, it wasn't enough money changing hands to really make it interesting. So I think it's got to have a dollar figure on it when you're thinking about setting these things up, and make sure that the partner on the other side is going to stick with it because you're going to spend some time setting it up. um, I always thought about who's already doing business with the customers that I want to do business with, right? If they're already doing business and they have a relationship with someone, can they introduce me to this person, like a warm referral partnership? So it's kind of interesting to think out of the box a little bit of who already has a relationship with these clients that I want so bad. I mean, that was, business to business, but I guess it works business to consumer also. We're currently I'm running a wedding venue, and we did 68 weddings last year, and we started getting quinceanera leads coming in. And I'm like, wow, nobody here speaks Spanish. That's the first problem. It's typically Spanish speaking doing quinceañeras. So we found there's like coordinators that only do quinceañera, Hispanic, what is that, birthday celebration. And so setting up partnerships with these coordinators, because they already have the relationships and they might be looking for a venue, so they can bring their families here to do the quinceanera, and then I can pay them, for selling the wedding venue. I mean, there's an example of just partnerships that work because they already have relationships with the people we want to bring here to sell the venue. In the mortgage company, I was driving 1,000 calls a month into the building, and we were closing 100 loans. Well, the 900 people a month that didn't get a loan, probably 200 of them had bad credit. So we'd refer them to a credit repair agency that was reputable. And then in return, they'd refer loans back to us because it might take 6 months to fix their credit. And we'd make sure they'd send the client back to us. We didn't really want to deal with it. We want to sell a loan. We don't want to, sell $100 credit repair. But these people were $100 a month in credit repair. They pick up $600 for 6 months, get the credit score up high enough. Now we can fund the loan. And then they're raving fans. They're referring us to other people with more credit problems. And they go into credit repair. But that was a good partnership for the mortgage company, the wedding business that I'm in now, the direct mail company. I was surprised that there were mortgage companies out there buying their own direct mail, and they would buy their own envelopes. So some of our envelope sales reps had prospects that needed more than just envelopes, like they needed creative and data and printing. And so we set up some referral partnerships with vendors that had clients that were exactly what we wanted. And we would just keep the envelopes going through that same vendor. So I set up a lot of successful partnerships through the years in 3 or 4 different businesses that really made us a lot of money.
Yeah, well, let's go through some of the benefits of referral partners. I think that most people know the benefits, but just as a reminder, anytime you set up a referral partnership, you get access to a whole new audience that already has trust and credibility with the people that they are working with. So anytime you can expand your audience by just tapping into the trust and respect that's already been established, you're going to get a fast forward button on growing your business. You're going to most likely get better qualified leads if you're partnering with other people because they know that there's a relationship there. If they don't send you qualified business, you're probably not going to send them qualified business. So we'll talk a little bit more about how to do that and how to make sure that you give good qualified referrals and that you get highly qualified referrals. Increased profits, obviously, you're getting scalable growth. I mean, if you have a couple of really good referral partners, that could be the equivalent of having a full-blown, an additional staff member on your team. Having good referral partners is like creating an annuity stream of income for your business if you are willing to put in the effort. And again, a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about today, it's going to be an opportunity disguised as work. And if you're not willing to put in the work to grow it, it's going to be like any other strategy. It's just going to be another really good idea. So we're going to show you how to do it easier, better, and faster than maybe you've done it in the past. So Jeff, let's just start off with the very first step. And you brought it up quickly is when you think about referral partnerships, who stands to benefit more than you by helping you become more successful? So if you think about Jeff's scenario with his wedding venue, put it in the chat for those of you that are on here live. If you're watching a recording, put it in the comments. You know, if you had a wedding venue that you owned, or an event venue, not just a wedding venue, if you had an event venue, who would be somebody that would benefit from helping you to become more successful? Anybody have anything that they can throw into the chat? I'll let Jeff share with you some of the vendors that he partners with and some of the potentials that he could go a little bit deeper with if he hasn't already. But let's see, we got one vote in there. So Marshall says food people. Yeah, Jeff just had a conversation with his catering partner who has a lot of opportunity and a lot of business. And so if he ends up partnering with this catering company and ends up bringing them catering business, that catering business is more profitable. So if Jeff is helping a catering business to be more successful, it stands to benefit that he probably has relationship equity with the owner of that business or the salesperson for that business, that he could go and ask for a referral because that person is gaining value every time Jeff does a wedding and they cater it. Uh, Jeff, anybody else that stands out in terms of who stands to benefit more than you by helping you become more successful as an event venue?
I don't know if they benefit more than us because we're selling $20,000 weddings and our catering bill's 5 grand, but 5 grand, times X amount of weddings. I mean, it's a big number for the catering company. So Marshall's right. That's our biggest bill, and they make a lot of money. And it's funny. What's today? Today's Wednesday. Monday morning, I had breakfast with the owner of our catering company and said, "Hey, how can we work together closer?" Sometimes brides will think, "I'm going to do a do-it-yourself wedding." So they'll call catering first and get prices. And once they figure out that price, sometimes they end up wanting to move it from grandma's backyard to an actual venue because they got too big of a guest count. It doesn't fit. So if they reach out to the catering company, same thing with the DJ. Sometimes they start calling around trying to get a DJ and they don't have a venue yet. So our DJs are like, "Hey, have you been to, Hawk Ranch? You should go take a look." So there's one example. I mean, we're doing the full service wedding, so we're the big revenue. Um, I did have someone, this was really interesting. I was at a trade show and there was like a realtor there, and I'm like, "What are you doing here?" And they go, "Well, hey, when these people get married, they're gonna probably sell a house, boyfriend, girlfriend, if they're older, they're gonna sell a house and then they're probably gonna buy another one together. So it's like we get two trends." And I'm like, wow, they're making, 5% commission on 700 grand. That's $35,000 commission. So realtors, I hadn't thought of that one until I went to the trade show with my eyes open going, what's a realtor doing here? What's a personal trainer doing at a bridal show? Well, mama wants to lose weight before the wedding. And it's like, wow, it opens your eyes when you attend. I love attending trade shows just to see what people are doing and why they're there. It shocked me. There was 5 personal trainers. I never even thought about that. But, weight loss right before the wedding, whether it's the bride or bride's mom, that's an issue. Fit into the tux. So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I love going through the brainstorming of just answering some of these questions just to start getting some categories and some job titles out that would, and again, start giving you a little bit more of a clear path to developing a relationship with one of these individuals. So, the second question is who's in a position that already has your ideal customers that could refer and endorse you? So I see Ron's on. Ron owns a pharmacy and works with veterinarians and works with doctors and all kinds of individuals that refer medications. So obviously, that's a position that would be a high referral source for him. But maybe another referral source could be somebody that's connected to doctors, because maybe he needs a connection to more doctors. And maybe if doctors are hard to get a hold of, then there's somebody that has a relationship with those veterinarians. So, Marshall's I see here, he's a financial planner. And so financial planners have relationships with doctors. And so a good connection for Ron could be working with a financial planner who has a lot of doctors as clients, because that could become a simple introduction or a simple referral opportunity. The next question is, what other ways can you or your customers benefit from the goodwill that you have with your customers? So Jeff talked about the idea of credit repair. When he owned his mortgage company, he had a company that had credit repair services. And one of the ways that Jeff could add value to his potential clients or his current clients is to refer them to somebody that could help them with a problem or a pain that they had. So that was a simple way for Jeff to identify credit repair as one of the referral partners. But let's challenge all of you that are here live or watching a recording is to think about, could you come up with a list of potentially 10 different organizations, job titles, names of individuals that you can think of right now that could potentially refer you to someone. This document that you're seeing up on the screen, this is a document that I shared when I was in the mortgage business. And it was something that became a resource that I would give out to individual clients. So I emptied out all of the names and phone numbers and email addresses and websites, but this would be a document that I would give to potential clients or referral partners. And I'd say, this is my strategic team of advisors, or this is my strategic team of referral partners. And these are the people that I recommend for these types of services. So one of the values that I tried to give to our clients was to give them access to reputable companies and to give them easy access to name, contact information, and that kind of thing. And this was one of the tools that I used when I went out there and built the referral partnerships, is because I took this list and I went out to other companies or other people and I say, I don't have somebody as a real estate attorney and I'd really like to have one. Or I don't have a real estate attorney in your area and I'd really like to have one. Would you like to be listed on my strategic team of advisors that I give to all my clients? And because I was a position of influence, they were more attracted to the idea of being included on that list. And so rather than going to them with my hands out and begging for their referrals, I was bringing value to them and asking them if they would like my referrals. And that opened up a lot more conversations. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in terms of the approach. But I want you to be thinking about this concept of developing your depth chart. This is a document that comes from our business optimizer tool that we give to our clients and prospective consulting clients, but it's helping them to develop a roster. So I played football. I don't know if anybody else played sports, but when you're on a sports team, they have what's called a depth chart. So the people that are the first string are the ones that are typically the most valuable player in that particular position. The people that are in the second string are the next most valuable. So if the first person leaves, gets hurt, something happens to them, then the second team person will take over the starting position. And then underneath the second team person, they may have third string, fourth string, fifth string, and down below. My son plays quarterback on a Division I football team, and he's got 6 people that are inside the quarterback room. He's a quarterback, and there's 5 other people that he's competing for a position. So he's in the lineup of 1 to 6 positions. In this particular category, this particular idea, you can have lots of different people, especially if there's popular referral categories. So, for Ron being a pharmacist, is that he may have, 20 different veterinarians because he services people in a large wide territory. So he could have a lot more people in one particular category. But I wanted you to think about the idea of having a depth chart for your key referral partners. So you could put in your top 5. If you want to expand it and make it 6, this document will kind of help you to put them in priority. And then the P just stands for priority. And that is, are they a B, or a C? A meaning that they're the starter, they're doing a lot of things to give you value, or they're the best person that you have in that category. B would be their second team. C would be their kind of a prospect. You don't really know if it's going to work out, but it's somebody that you're developing the relationship. And, Jeff, you've been in business around long enough that a lot of times things change. And the people that you had or the businesses that you were referring to sometimes change hands and things change, and you may not want to refer them. So it's good to have depth at each one of your referral partner categories. And because we're dealing with human beings, not human doings, it takes time and effort to develop those relationships. You're not going to have a highly influential person that the first time you talk to them, they're going to start sending you all of their referrals. It's going to oftentimes where you're going to have to be competing against somebody else that's already in that position that you're in, where they're already getting referrals or they're already in a relationship with somebody. So you're going to have to beat out that other person that's getting the referrals, and sometimes that just means that you start showing up a little bit more consistently. You start adding more value than the other person, and then you start working your way up the depth chart. Anything that you wanted to share on the concept of identifying referral partners, Jeff?
No, I was just thinking about when I owned the mortgage company and we started to go out of state. We went from California to, we got licensed in Florida, Florida, Washington, Arizona. We got three new states, and I didn't know how to get into those markets. So we started calling the title reps. You go, hey, you're selling title to all these mortgage companies. We've got an advertising product that'll fund more loans. Therefore, you'll make more money writing more title policies. So tell me, who's your top three clients? Well, you introduced me, and that was a pretty successful program because title reps have 50 clients, but there's two or three of them that are sending 10, 20, 50, 100 loans a month. So we got introduced to some big players. Just that introduction was pretty powerful because I didn't know the landscape of who the big players were. So calling title reps for the mortgage company, that was pretty successful just to get introduced to the big players in the area. That worked. I'm just thinking of different referral and partner. And I didn't have to pay them because they were going to make money when the client bought advertising and it was successful and they'd fund more loans. They were happy. So there was no money being exchanged.
Yeah. Well, there's lots of different approaches to take, and that would be the second step is once you've identified who your referral partner candidates are, now it's to approach them. And this is an approach that really worked well for me. And we can send this to anybody that's interested. If you want to email us at support@growmyprofit.com, or just go to our website and contact us. We can send you the link to this script, but it's basically this. Hi, Jeff. My name is David, and I was referred to you by John Doe. So if you get a referral from an actual person, that's going to be your best chances of getting an appointment with that person. And so if I said, hello, Jeff, my name is David Bush, and I was referred to you by John Doe. I was sharing with John the other day that I was in search of a quality and then insert their particular category to add to my strategic partner advisor list that I give to each one of my new prospects and clients. John referred me to you as somebody who'd be a great fit for this new referral program I've created. Would you be available this week to discuss the opportunity and to allow me to learn more about your business? I'm eager to find somebody to fill this spot and to begin a mutually beneficial relationship as soon as possible. I'm booked the next couple of days, but do you have time next week or maybe following week? Any of those times work for you? And then you get a chance to get an appointment scheduled. Now, this is just one strategy or one approach. You may say, well, that doesn't work for the type of business that I'm in. Okay, well, we can change the referral. It can still come from an individual where you reference an individual's name, and you can just say, hey, this person referred me and said it'd be a good idea for us to connect. Sometimes that's all you need to do. If you've got a good referral from somebody else, you're going to get a better chance of closing on a first appointment than if you're just calling them cold. But if you do have to call them cold, don't don't feel like that you're coming in there asking them for their referrals. Go into it with an idea that you're creating a mutually beneficial relationship, because there are people out there, believe it or not, that don't need your referrals. They need something else. And I'm going to talk to you about that in just a moment when it comes to something else. What can you bring to people other than referrals that can add more value to them than a referral? Because in your mind, you might be thinking, I want a referral, but that may not be what they're thinking. They may have plenty of business to work with. They may need something else, and you could fulfill a different role that they could really benefit from. So, other different strategies around approaching, Jeff, anything that really stands out for you as it relates to getting that conversation started?
My friend Jay Abraham, when Carnival Cruise Lines started, I don't know if that was 40 years ago. I'm guessing maybe 40, 50 years ago, Carnival Cruise Lines, they were so poor they could only paint one side of the ship. they would paint the side of the ship that docked real nice and pretty. The other side was like rusted and old. They could only afford to paint half the ship. That's how they started. And I remember they went to the radio station and said, "Hey, we want to buy $100,000 worth of radio, but we're going to give you guys all, $3,000 cruises for, for like $1,000, like, a third off." So they traded for radio space. It was like a referral arrangement. So they got on the radio, started advertising. The cruise ships were only 50% full. So they were sailing and spending the money on gas anyways. So the people that they gave the cruise to for free, they still had to buy, probably alcohol package and food. But it was interesting that it really didn't cost the cruise line anything to put those people on the ship because they're already sailing with the crew and the fuel and they got $100,000 worth of radio and Carnival started advertising and booking up ships and painting the other side. And it's kind of interesting, just a referral, kind of a split partnership, more on advertising. But I guess I'd call that referral still.
Yeah. I think the big thing that I learned in doing this approach with many different types of referral partners is to not combine the approach and the presentation together. So the approach is just to see if it's a good fit. And that's one of the things that I found I was a little bit slower to develop referral partnerships, and I wanted to get to know the person because if I was going to be in a win-win-win scenario, I was probably going to have an opportunity to endorse them. So I treated it more like an interview when I had that conversation. I didn't think of it so much as I'm presenting to them. I thought of it more as they're fulfilling a role on my team, and I'm potentially fulfilling a role on their team. So I'm not going to confuse the two of those and start getting into the details of what it is that I can do for them until after I know that they're a great fit for me. And this is a strategy that Jeff and I both really subscribe to. It comes from Harvey Mackay's book, How to Swim with the Sharks Without Being Eaten Alive. And Harvey had this thing called the Mackay 66. And one of the things that he did is that when he hired an envelope salesperson, they gave him some accounts and then they obviously had to build their own accounts. But when he gave them an account from a person that had left the company, every single one of the accounts had a McKay 66. And on that McKay 66, there were 66 different questions that the salesperson's job was every time they serviced that account, they were to get the answer to at least one or two more questions. And that would be my strategy around approaching prospective referral partners is you don't want to interview them like you're writing a book on their life, but you want to get clarity on who they are and what their services are, what their target market is, who would be a good referral for them. And this document, this referral partner document, can help you to kind of organize some of those questions. And again, if you build this relationship over years, this document may be something that expands over time. You could use your phone or you could use other CRM tools now to be able to track this information. But it's really about getting to know the person, just like if you were going to hire them as a potential salesperson for your business, you'd want to make sure that it's a good fit. It's culturally a good fit. You can have your own differences in regards to faith or beliefs of that nature, but it could be something that you could really dial in the relationship. And the more they trust you and the more they like you, the more willing that they are going to be to introduce you to other people. So again, if this is something that you're interested in, just give us an email at support@growmyprofit.com and we'll send over a copy of this. This will also be included with the recording. So if those of you that are watching a recording, you can access this as an additional tool. Once you've had a chance to gather some data, and I've usually found that 3 to 5 questions are usually sufficient for that initial appointment. So usually when I go into a presentation, Jeff, I'm usually asking 3 to 5 questions. The 3 questions get it started. And I'm typically sticking to the 6 questions that taught me all I knew. What, why, when, where, how, and who. So I'm asking those open-ended questions to basically be in control of the conversation with the individual. And I'm collecting lots of really valuable information about who they are, what separates them from the competition, why people use them, who their target market is. And then I usually end with, what's a big goal or dream that you have for your business in the next 3 to 5 years? And if they don't tell me they have a big goal or dream, I'm probably not that excited about working with them because I want to work with people that have bigger dreams and goals to grow their business. But if they have a smaller goal, that's fine too. But that gives me information to come back and to start referring to individuals. So does anybody have any questions on that? If you have a question, put it in the chat. Otherwise, we'll jump right into the presentation. All right, no questions? All right, so Jeff, when it comes down to presenting to referral partners, obviously we're going to want to state our unique value proposition or unique selling proposition. Having access to testimonials or social proof. Hey, these other people have used us. When you were doing lots of volume in your direct mail business or in your mortgage company, I'm sure that when you were talking to people with the permission of your clients, you probably gave some level of testimonial or social proof to basically remove the risk of referring people to you. Because if Acme Corporation, a very well-known, recognized company, was referring business to you, then there would probably be a good chance that other people would do the same thing. And then sample marketing strategies is just simply if you're going to do joint marketing with an individual referral partner, um, that could be something that you would want to share as an example and say, hey, this is something that we could do together. Anything else, Jeff, that you would say would be in relationship to presenting a referral partnership that would be appropriate for this session?
Yeah, I'm just looking at, we had a lot of testimonials that did help if they hadn't heard of us before and we were a nothing, nobody company. We had no brand. So we had to have testimonials, but it's just thinking funny from 10 years ago to today, like when brides come here to get married, it's all about 5-star reviews on Google, on the wedding website. So it's funny how it's changed from, hey, do you have testimonials you can show me of happy brides that got married here to you can see it all social. I mean, it's all out there, man. Everything's out there now. It's funny how important that is, just uh, social, Google. I mean, everybody on a retail basis is checking reviews. So that's gotten pretty important we've got over 100 5-star reviews that we promote pretty hard, but not testimonials anymore. But on B2B, it was a little different. We'd have case studies and references they could call and check. So,
Yeah. Well, when it comes down to what you're going to present to a potential referral partner, obviously it's the things that are going to be unique about you, like we just mentioned, and some of the things that maybe you can offer. But as it relates to actual closing or confirming the interest in a partnership, what I found is that there's a simple way of doing it where you just kind of summarize it and say, there's three ways that I partner with individuals, and I like to call it the good, the better, and the best. So, a good way that I partner with referral partners is just in reciprocal referrals. As we have opportunities, we refer each other back and forth. And that's good for you, good for me, and good for the people that we work with because they're getting connected with people that are trustworthy and do a good job in customer service. So that would be good. Better would be as if we actually got strategic about it and we, started becoming more strategic about doing joint marketing or doing events together or doing regular meetups where we get together once a quarter or once a month and we talk about, hey, here's who I know, here's who you know, here's an opportunity to connect. There's a thing that Jeff and I have subscribed to from Jay Abraham that's called the host beneficiary relationship. And so, what the way that strategy works is that, let's say that Mike he works in employee benefits. And if I was to go to Mike and say, hey, Mike, I really would love to do more business consulting with business owners that want to grow their business. Would you be open to sending out an email, sending out a letter, sending out some form of marketing on your social media to promote the services that we offer? And in exchange for that, I would do the same thing for you. So that's going to be better than saying, well, let me wait until somebody asks me, hey, do you know of any good business consultants? Well, Mike would maybe remember then to refer me, but it's going to be better for me and it's going to be better for him for referring me to the clients that he works with because he's going to add more value to the clients and the followers that he has on his social media if he becomes the source of really valuable connections. because that's one of the things that Mike wants to do to separate himself from all the other employee benefits companies out there is he wants to bring more value to the marketplace. So introducing quality referral sources or quality referral partners could be a way of him bringing more trust to the relationships that he has. Um, Other things that you can do to grow even further would be the best strategies. And the best strategies, excuse me, is when you actually get into revenue sharing. So Jeff and I were just discussing, he has a ranch where he has over 100 animals from all over the world, and they do animal tours. And we talked about the different strategies that he could leverage. And, there's a lot of different things that go on the internet, and, leveraging individuals that have a large following on the internet where he can actually pay them a marketing fee, and they can give a shout out on their social media to all of their following. And that ends up basically bringing Jeff more revenue. It brings the influencer, or brings the person on on social media, it brings them more opportunity in terms of income, because he's paying them to market his business. So it's a win-win-win. The followers of the social media account get introduced to a new service, this amazing farm animal tours, and they get paid a marketing fee, and Jeff gets new visitors and new people that are paying for a tour. Jeff, anything you want to share on that idea of a best strategy when you're working with a referral partner or a marketing partner, I guess you could call it?
Yeah, just thinking of all the times I was doing advertising where I was spending a lot of money reaching out to homeowners and getting people to joint venture on the ad cost. Hey, I'm already spending the money on postage. Let's go in this together. And sometimes the revenue expense sharing advertising expense. If we have different products selling to the same person, homeowner needs a mortgage, homeowner needs windows, needs HVAC, and that's kind of that we shared a lot of ad costs. I'll take the front, you take the back, and split the cost.
Yeah. And are you going to be able to get every single person to jump into a referral partnership when you give them those options? No. You're going to have a certain ratio of presentations to invitations to new referral partners. But if you were to meet with 100 potential referral partners in the next 6 months, that's not overly complicated to just approach 100 different people. You can cut it in half if you wanted to, and your percentage would be decreased by the number that you've decreased the total number of prospects. But if you had 50 conversations in the next 6 months, that's less than 10 conversations a month. That's almost 2 or 3 a week. Could you have 2 or 3 a week with potential referral partners to interview them for a position on your strategic referral partner list? Or could you simply build relationships with individuals who you think have the ability to introduce you to other people, just as an opportunity to get in front of more conversations? And maybe that may lead to another referral partner introduction. So how do you follow up with referral partners after you've done the invitation, or that you've done the presentation and you've invited them to partner with you? There's a couple of different roles. And the book that I'm referencing here is the book by Thomas Stanley, that he wrote the book Networking with the Affluent. And he talks about 7 different roles that you can fulfill with influential people or affluential people, to build trust and credibility and to attract them to want to work with you as a referral partner or as a client. So one of them is that you can end up helping them to enhance their revenue. You can figure out a way to help them to grow their opportunities. As we said, Jeff owns an event venue. And one of the things that Jeff and I were talking about is the idea of approaching other event venues who were filled up or booked on the dates that the person wanted or had to have their event, and to create an environment where they give a referral fee, or he gives them a referral fee for introducing them to their business. So Jeff has a event venue that has a limitation by the number of days that he can host events. But if he could get a referral fee of 10% for referring somebody to a different venue on a date that he didn't have any availability and they didn't have any ability to change the date. I don't think you'd refer people that had some flexibility, but if it's not going to be something that works, it's a turn down, basically, it just doesn't work. could you encourage them to connect with another organization who would be willing to pay you for that referral, and vice versa? Jeff now has a capacity where he has more opportunity to sell more time at his event space if he's working with another referral partner. A recruiter could be something as simple as is that, Marshall, let's just say Marshall is a financial planner, which he is, and Marshall is trying to gain referrals from a top CPA firm. And the owner of that CPA firm needs a new front desk person. And Marshall's connected because he's got relationships or he has social media connections. And so Marshall posts an ad and says, I have a opportunity for somebody to be a front desk person for a well-known or a reputable CPA firm. Is anybody interested in more information? Marshall gets some connections. He vets them a bit and just simply introduces them to the person that he had a conversation with. And now that person saves money on ads, saves that money on marketing, interviewing, because that person is being connected by you. For some individuals, you may be a mentor. And one of the individuals that I partnered with was a real estate agent, and he wanted to get into investment real estate. He was a retail sold property, but he didn't really have a lot of opportunities in investing in real estate. So I gave him a couple of different books. One of the books was Rich Dad, Poor Dad from Robert Kiyosaki. He read that book, and that led him to reading the entire series. Now he has a significant portfolio of real estate investments. And this was a real estate agent that I received referrals from, but I was just simply adding value for him. Advocate would be another one where if somebody was maybe under attack or maybe in a position where somebody was saying negative things about them on social media, you could come in and endorse them or give them a testimonial, depending on the relationship that you have. Um, you know, uh, in a situation where you're taking on a role as a publicist, you don't necessarily have to become that person's marketing agent, but if you saw that one of your referral partners was recognized as a influencer in the community, maybe they got a recent award or something of that nature, they probably wouldn't go on social media and say, so excited to get the Person of the Year award. But if you go on social media and you say, so excited to celebrate Augustine Gomez as being the Roofer of the Year for our city. He's such an amazing gentleman. He does amazing work, and I just want to celebrate him today. That's an opportunity to bring publicity to a potential referral partner by just adding value and giving edification or giving a celebration of who he is. Being a broker of services, being a purchasing agent. Again, you have to decide which of these roles that you would like to fulfill. But if you find different ways where you can maybe, I've got a really good car dealer. I love working with him. He's amazing. He just does an amazing job. He's over the top on customer service. And I recommend him, refer him almost every time somebody tells me that they're looking for a car. Even when people are not looking for a car, I seem to bring it up because he gives wow customer service and he's just over the top nice. So I'm highly recommending people connect with him. And that's making me kind of a purchasing agent if they're looking for a car. Jeff, anything that you would say about just following up and just layering or adding value to a potential referral partner that would be helpful here?
I was just thinking about everybody has an email database. When you take your referral partnership to the next level, once there's trust, it's like, hey, let's share each other's email list. I've got 5,000 brides that need a wedding dress. You have 5,000 people that bought wedding dresses that might need a wedding venue. That might not be a perfect match, but when you can start sending emails together with the endorsement and everybody's seeing it, and then they click with a certain website code to where you can track revenue. If you're splitting revenue, hey, they clicked, they opened the email, they clicked, and they bought something. So it's really nice when you can share, email databases of leads. That's when the referral gets pretty tight. And, they're probably not going to hand me their 10,000 email list of leads they've gotten over the last 5 years, but I can send them the email and they can launch it to their list. I can launch it to my list. And that's a really nice trade to kind of endorse each other and generate, more business for each other.
Yeah, making it easy for people to refer you. That's one of the things that I've learned with referral partnerships is that if they have to think a lot, you're not going to get a lot of opportunity. But if you deliver a great service and you're top of mind and you're consistently marketing to them, this is the marketing plan system that we utilize in helping business owners to really get laser specific on what is their marketing strategy around referral partners. You don't have to have 7 different targets, but if one of your targets is referral partners, what are the things that you're doing in your month to develop those referral partnerships and deepen them, strengthen them, and to generate opportunities from them? If you're nonstop asking for referrals, but you're not adding any value, well, then you're not going to have a lot of relationship equity. You're going to constantly be making withdrawals on an account that's overdrawn. So think about the things that you could do inside of your marketing plan that could be relationship builders or could be things where you're adding value. One of the things that Jeff and I do is that we share these types of resources, these videos that are content rich, education based with individuals without having any strings attached. We just share what our experience has been. And we bring these resources to referral partners and we say, hey, if this would be something that would be helpful for you, business broker would be one of our referral partners. Hey, if this would be helpful for your business partners or the people that you're doing business with, please pass it on. So those are little layering opportunities. So inviting people to events, sending out a newsletter, having a little touch point. It could be something as simple as wishing them a happy 4th of July, wishing them a happy birthday, happy anniversary. LinkedIn has places where you can celebrate them on their work anniversary. Other things that you can do to expand your referral partners is to collect information when you have the opportunity. This was a document that we used in the mortgage business where it was just part of the documentation. You already have to sign all of these different documents. So one of the things that we did is we just inserted an extra form and we asked people, who's their human resource manager? Who's their insurance professional, their estate planner? And then we just asked them a simple question on how would you rate their customer service? Anybody that had an excellent circled, and we wouldn't get all of these answers every single time we had a new mortgage customer, but because we did it consistently, we got better predictable outcomes because it was part of a process. So that would be something that I would highly recommend is systemize your referral generation, systemize your marketing so that it happens repeatedly without you having to think about doing it. Another strategy that we've used in the past is what we call the raving fan customer service checklist. We talked about this last week, but we had a checklist, and this checklist went with every individual file. And one of the things that we did was we had a place where part of the checklist was, did we introduce them to the people on our strategic advisor list? Because I wanted to be more valuable to those referral partners, so I became more dedicated to the idea of bringing them opportunities and not just asking for opportunities. Another thing we talked about last week in a little more detail is doing a client survey. A simple 2-question survey could help you to gather feedback about your particular situation, but you also could collect referral information, maybe provide a referral fee of some sort. But if you're consistently asking for referrals, maybe you've got a little drawing to win, or you've got something that's soliciting the opportunity of giving you a referral, there's a better chance that you're going to have referrals to give. And if you have referrals to give to people, or you have connections or introductions, you're going to be able to have more referral partners that want to talk to you because you're going to be a person of influence. You're going to be networking with affluent people, and you're going to be one of the affluent people that's giving out names and contact information for quality service providers. So in terms of adding value, I talked about this at the very beginning. You can give referrals as a strategy, but you could also play one of those different roles that we talked about, the 7 different roles of networking with the affluent. Those are different things that you can do to be in a position of power and a position of relationship equity where you've made lots of deposits. So when you ask for a referral, you're a lot more likely to get it. Organizing and systemizing your calendar. This is one of the big things that Jeff and I are really excited about helping business owners to do, is to get some structure with their marketing and to not just do the flavor of the month marketing strategy, because there's only one thing that people do predictably, and it's that they act unpredictable. So what a lot of business owners do is they basically react to the tyranny of the urgent. whoever the best salesperson is at that particular time when the marketing pain is really high and they have a lot of problems, then they basically just jump on that strategy and go, okay, let's do that.
Dave, you
Sorry, did you hear me? Did I drop off? Am I good? Oh, Jeff's cutting in and out. Thanks, Marshall.
was it my computer cutting in and out?
Yeah, it must have been.
Okay, sorry.
So the marketing calendar is something that we highly recommend, and then we really encourage people to do source tracking, where they are tracking where's their business coming from. And we just crested the first half of 2024. Where's your business coming from? If you were to go back and look at the last 6 months of clientele, is it repeat business from past clients? Was it new business from marketing or advertising that you did? Do you know where your business is coming from? Is there a process in place where you're asking individuals that are doing business with you? So that brings us to the wrap up of today's presentation. All of our courses are available inside of this Scale University. If you'd like to learn more, download the worksheets, watch the other different presentations. Is there any questions or concerns that people have? And while we're getting those to come in, Jeff, any final comments from you on building or developing referral partnerships?
No, I think it can get a little overwhelming just, listening to all this. We just talked about so many things, but if you can always go grab the low-hanging fruit, maybe we talked about 30 things, pick out the 3 you're comfortable doing and just make it consistent. Do a couple phone calls a week and try to build a few referral sources. I mean, I remember, Dave, when you had all those people referring you loans, it's like, gosh, 10 people sending you one loan a month and you're making $2,000-3,000 a loan. It's like you're making 20-30 grand all off referrals. It was amazing. So the power of one referral for the year, if it's referring business that orders every month or big transactions, is so powerful. It's like pick out, here's the 3 I think could work for my business and go after those, consistently for 30 days. Not going to call 2 people and all of a sudden have business coming in, but might have to do 10, 20, 30, and you get 2 or 3, right? It's always that percentage, 10% turn into a referral, and certain ones will be bigger than others, but it's a great way to build your business. So I got some good stuff. My mind's spinning about all the things I haven't been doing. I got some more people to reach out to. So
Well, referral partnerships is just the very beginning. There's much more to the possibility. I mean, Jeff just purchased another business that already had all of his clients. They were just going to a different animal tour. So he purchased the animal tour place and brought all those people to him. So that's a whole different model of buying new opportunities. But if you're a business that wants to scale, there's a lot of different ways to climb the mountain. Referral partners is just one of them. And you could go out there and leverage a strategic referral partnerships. Just one person could be a major difference maker in your business. So don't get too caught up in the how. Be more focused in on why it's important to you and what's possible and when would you like to make it happen. And then start putting a plan into place to start making it happen. Aaron had a question. Do you have any tips for putting your referral agreements in writing? Um, Based upon the individual business, we could share some ideas that have been helpful for us. Obviously, if it's a big contract, you could utilize more affiliate marketing agreements and other types of agreements that could be created through ChatGPT or through attorneys and things of that nature. But be happy to follow up with you on specifics around referral agreements, Aaron. Anybody else have any questions or concerns? Ron, anything that I know that we had a conversation earlier today about referral partners, anything that you wanted to throw in? You're on mute. You got to unmute yourself first. Sorry, I tried to unmute you and you muted yourself again. Sorry about that.
Unmute.
There you go.
Okay. No, I just you're stimulating some of the neurons that haven't been stimulated in a while. So I thinking about those referral sources, people that I can help build their business, and that would help me get referrals back. It's I hadn't thought about some of these things in a long time, so it's just a great stimulation to try and get some of these people that I have connections with for many years, haven't tapped it.
Well, as we discussed today, is that one of your unique value proposition is that you've been in the industry for longer than most pharmacists. And that experience is something that if you just simply identified who your referral partner target audience was, and you approach them with the unique value proposition of bringing a tremendous amount of experience, fast delivery times, and some other qualifiers, you probably would end up having some conversations or some opportunities fairly quickly. And then it's just a matter of keeping it on a steady, organized structure. And we talked a little bit about, outsourcing that to a virtual marketing assistant or somebody, since you've just lost that marketing person for you. It's replacing that person so that you can create a steady, consistent effort so that you're always top of mind with those referral partners. But we'd love to talk to you more about that. Anything from you, Marshall? Anything that you want to share?
I just thought it was really good. You mentioned a book that I have up there, but I have not read yet. So, networking with the affluent, and I thought that those points were excellent. Obviously, my business is a lot of referral based, but to be able to find referral partners where it's not just okay, think outside of can I grow your business? Because there's a lot of people I run into where I've already got a guy doing that, or I don't need that. So, is there other, things I can provide value in to their business that isn't just bringing in my referrals?
Right. And if you go down that list of that directory, I would say that almost every single one of those people on that directory are potential clients of yours. So if you go in with the potential approach is that I give out a strategic advisor list or a strategic referral list, and I'd like to include your name on it. Could we meet? Now you're having a really high quality conversation with a quality prospect about something that's other than their finances. And now you get a chance to present your services through them, not to them, because you're just talking to them about referrals and developing relationships. So pest inspector, right? I know that you live in the same town that I do, and there was recently a change with one of the big pest inspection companies, and there's a new owner. So that would be a great opportunity to start building a relationship with a pest inspector or a home inspector or an appraiser, all of those service-based businesses that would be really quality referrals for you and could be all obviously referral partners. So lots of opportunities here. Jeff, any final words before we wrap up?
No, I think we covered a lot. I think I'm good.
Thanks everybody for joining us. We got one more session. If you join us next week, we'll have another session to wrap it up and talk about virtual marketing assistants, AI, digital marketing, and some social media marketing. So please join us for a follow-up conversation as we wrap up this marketing series. Thanks everybody.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.